tuned into the Licensure Lifeline podcast, the podcast that helps you get ready for those licensure tests in the mental health field or just brush up on your knowledge as a mental health professional. I'm your host, Matt Lawson, and thanks for joining me today. We are going to delve a bit into the diagnostic and statistical portion of the test. I know this is one of the more dreaded sections as a therapist. I'm not exactly always that happy when I see anything that has to do with math. It's one of the reasons I got into the field. I felt like I was promised that I would never have to deal with math again, but here we are. And I'm hoping to make this as painless as possible. Just a couple of concepts here that I think we see a lot of, especially on these tests. But the mean, median, and mode. They're very simple concepts, but I also think they're very easy to get mixed up. So first up, let's tackle the mean. This is just the average, right? Like you add up the scores that you're given, and then you divide it by the number of scores that are presented, and that's going to give you your mean. So an example here would be if you had scores of 85, 90, 95, and 100, the mean would be 85 plus 90 plus 95 plus 100 divided by 4, which equals 92.5. But the mean gives us the mean will give us the central value here. The median is the middle value of any data set. So if you had numbers in order and pick the middle one, that's going to be your median. An example here would be if you had the numbers 85, 90, 95, 100, the median would be between 90 and 95. So the average of 90 and 95, which would be 92.5. If there are odd numbers in this score, the median is just going to be the middle one. The median is particularly useful when, as it's not skewed by extremely high or low values. So I remember, there was an example of in one of the test preps of a classroom full of people, and how if you were looking at what is the average income of these individuals, if Bill Gates happened to be in that room, it would throw off all of your scores because he would skew toward being really, really wealthy. So, if you just took the mean of that room, including Bill Gates, the mean of the salaries in that room, including Bill Gates, it would show that like most of the people in that room were millionaires. But if you took something like the median, is really what you would want for a situation like that, to find out like what the typical income of a room full of people might look like, because the median is not impacted by skews of extremely high or low values. And then finally, the mode. This is the most frequently occurring number in a data set. So if you had two numbers, 95, and all others were different, 95 would be the mode. Let me say that again. If you had multiple numbers, like let's say 5 numbers, and 95 occurred 3 times, 95 would be the mode. This is the number that's just going to appear most often. Let's go over some sample questions that might appear on a test. First up, if a data set contains the values 5, 7, 7, 7, 9, 10, and 12, what is the mode? A, 7, B, 8, C, 9, or D, 10? Answer to this one's going to be number 7. The mode is the most frequently occurring number here. So 7 occurred 3 times. That's going to be the mode. I think out of all of them, that's the one that for some reason is the easiest for me to remember. But next question, consider a data set with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What is the median of this data set? A2, B3, C4, or D5? Answer to this one's going to be B, the number 3. The median or the middle value, especially on a set of odd number, or they give you a set that comes out to odd numbers, it's always just going to be the middle number of the odd set. If you have an even set, you would take the 2 middle numbers and just get the average of those 2 numbers to give you the middle number. Question number 3. A test has the following scores: 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. What is the mean score? The mean here, you take all the numbers, add them all up, and then you divide them by 5. So the answer here would be C, 80. Okay, so for some memory strategies here, I have a nice story to tell you today. 3 friends, Mean Mike, Median Mandy, and Molly Mode, were comparing their scores on a test. Mean Mike calculated the average score because he always wants everything to be fair and balanced. Median Mandy looked for the middle scores to see the score that perfectly divides the top and bottom halves because she always seeks balance but doesn't like the extremes. I imagine Median Molly as like kind of a yoga median type, medium type, that is always looking for balance in her life. And Molly Mode was curious about the scores that most people got because she likes following popular trends. So Molly Mode likes those trends, and she wants to see what the majority of the people like. Mean Mike, average. Balances all scores by summing and dividing. Median Molly, middle. Finds the central value. Molly Mode, most frequently. Looks for the most common or popular score. I hope you like that story, and I hope this helps you remember this information for your test. Take care, and until next time, keep studying.